This episode of Walt Disney World Today is sponsored by MEI and MouseFan Travel, who specialize in cruises and vacation packages to Disney and other destinations around the world. MEI and MouseFan Travel is an authorized Disney vacation planner and the recommended vacation planner for allears.net. They provide their signature services with no additional agency fees. To get your free no-obligation quote, visit www.mousefantravel.com.
This is Walt Disney World Today. Give us 5 minutes and we'll give you the world.
It's Wednesday, December 19th, 2007, and this is episode 346 of Walt Disney World Today. I'm your host, Matt Hochberg of StudioCentral.com. On the show today, we have Mike Newell of Mouse World Radio. Hey, buddy.
Hiya, buddies.
Thanks for ripping me off. I just said that to you.
Well, you didn't say it in the right voice. You just went, hey, buddy.
Also here is Mike Scopa of MousePlanet.com and All Ears Net. Welcome, Mike.
Beep. Styracosaurus.
Oh, God.
Yeah, sorry, Matt.
The attraction which shall not be named. And also here is Len Testa, co-author of the unofficial guide to Walt Disney World. And Len, how's David Lee Roth holding up?
Dave's doing great. He's
You have to hold his hair back, while he yaks, or
why would he need to do that? It's the tour's just been extended. Everyone is doing fabulously. We're looking forward to maybe a new CD in 2008.
Len speaks about Van Halen like some fans talk about their teams. Like, oh yeah, we're doing great this year. We're going all the way, baby.
Exactly.
It's Wednesday, and we're answering your listener questions. And we're going to start with Mike from Rochester, New York. And I thank Mike for sending in this email because it's right for Newell, and that's what I love is questions for Mr. Newell. So Mike writes, Mangello, Matt, Mike, and Len. On your most recent podcast, who am I kidding? On show 338, you guys answered a question about car rentals and some unsure answers for the Car Care Center. I just recently booked an SUV for my upcoming trip in January 2009 at the Car Care Center through Alamo. Yes, they do offer shuttle service for your hotel to the Car Care Center. As stated on Alamo's website, you will need to call 1 day before or 1 hour before to schedule a pickup. Not sure if it is on the site. This is for on-site resorts only. Plus, if you book and pay online, you get a discount for your rental. One thing you need to remember is the shuttle service stops at 6 p.m. Now for my question for Mr. Newell. What is Mouse World Radio? How do you listen to the music? Any and as much as info you can give will be fabulous.
Without getting into detail, it's go to mouseworldradio1.com. It'll play automatically. It's the easiest way.
Mouse World Radio 1. And the number 1?
And the number 1. Right. It'll
number 1.
Yeah. It'll stream by itself.
It's an internet radio station, if you're not clear on what it is.
Right. Oh, I thought... okay.
Yeah, you just want to know what is Mouse World Radio.
I misunderstood the question. Okay, yeah. It's an internet radio station that streams park, audio, resort television, basically anything you can hear down there.
Mike also writes, will I ever be able to hear Geddy Lee playing bass in the live version of Closer to the Heart on Mouse World Radio? A little Newell love. Keep up the great work.
I've been known to...
man who hold high places, be the one to start.
I've been known to spin a Rush tune here and there after a live show.
Janet of White Township, New Jersey, who writes, I promise that this is at least 40 miles from Scotch Plains and Short Lawyers. Hi there, Matt, Mike, and Len. I thoroughly adore the Walt Disney World Today podcast. The aspect that I enjoy most is the banter among the four of you. While the information is great, it is the sense of community engendered by the common Disney reference points and ongoing gags that keeps me coming back for more. I closely identify with Mr. Scopa. I was also unable to visit Walt Disney World as a child because by the time my first trip in 1972...
It wasn't there.
Oh, poor
Walt
Janet.
hadn't been born yet. In fact, Marceline, Missouri wasn't even on the map.
Janet writes, for the past couple of years while staying on property, I've noticed amongst all the flowers and brochures on the desktop of my room an enticement to book your next trip before you leave for savings up to 40%.
Oh, I actually have this flyer right in front of me.
Yeah, I saw that too. I've never bitten, but even though I always know I'll be back again for the next Food and Wine Festival, if not sooner, the most recent trip, I got these coupons for it also. Bottom line, is it a good deal to take advantage of the book your next trip before you leave enticement? Even if you were to have access to both annual pass holder and AAA discounts, next time I'll book the October-based trip based on your recommendations. Thanks in advance.
See, that's the thing. So I actually have the flyer in front of me right now. The one that I got in my room was. Go ahead.
I was just saying, explain the flyer for those who don't know what they are. One.
So it's a flyer that says something like, thanks for staying at Walt Disney World. If you want to act now, you can get 30% off of the rack rate at a deluxe resort, or 40% off the rate at a villa resort during certain times of the year. If you use my code is CDR. I don't know what your code is.
I didn't take it because here's the thing. I read it. I was like, wow, this is a great deal. But then it's off the rack rates, and that's the key word right there.
And no one pays rack rate anyway. And you have to do it before or on the day of your checkout. So so for me it was 3 or 4 days. It was last week. That's the thing. It's not the rates aren't that great.
Yeah,
30% off the non-discounted price. No one ever pays. Yeah,
I would say it's good if you don't have an annual pass. I would think, because then you don't have access to some of these better rates that are out there. But
I mean, if there's no other discount available, but I mean, for anyone else, if there's any discount available, you can probably beat, the rate.
Oh, I would say so. Next email's from Drew from NorCal, who writes, "I'll be heading down for about a week, from December 23rd to the 28th. I'll be with my wife and our 9-month-old baby. Quiet, Scope. I can hear you groaning. Anyway, this is my first time off property, staying at the Radisson Parkway. We'll have a rental car. So I was wondering, what is your favorite family baby-friendly attraction?"
TTA.
That's a great one.
It is really not bad. I like any of the indoor shows. I like Carousel of Progress. Because it's relatively dark and quiet, and you can rest there.
For a baby?
What?
For a baby?
Yeah, for a baby.
Well, the baby's not going to. I mean, at 9 months old, the baby's not going to get anything out of anything.
The only problem I have with that land is that once the show starts, if that baby starts acting up, it's hard to leave.
You could just go into the stay in like in the 1920s scene and just let the thing go until they're okay.
Exactly. Pretend it's one of the neighbors' kids in the scene. Yeah, exactly. That's what I would do. I mean, so following Newell's advice, I guess the Tomorrowland Indy Speedway would be really good.
It'd be like having your horn on the entire time.
Exactly. That or the Tower of Terror, because everyone's screaming anyway. So those are really the alternatives right there.
That's right. Drew also wants to know the best or our favorite fast, quick food off property. No national chains, please.
Wow.
Best.
Okay, so
fast
Giordano's. Giordano's Italian.
Is that fast though?
You can get it to go.
Okay, well you get
Earl of Sandwich count? No.
I like Earl of Sandwich.
Oh, I love Earl of Sandwich. Yeah.
Off property though.
Oh, off property.
I mean,
and not chains.
Yeah, but if he's staying off property, I'm sorry. If he's staying off property, he can drive to downtown Disney.
Yeah. Oh, he's just looking for things to do off property. That's I guess what he's looking for. You know what I mean?
Not chains, but I mean, is it like sit down or is it to go?
You put fast / quick food.
Probably like Pizza Hut. Yeah.
Sizzler. God, no.
Can't get Sizzler. We can get Sizzler to go, I'm sure, but.
I mean, I love Waffle House. I mean, it's kind of it's not a national chain.
Are you guys getting Waffle House to go though? What are you guys doing?
That's quick. But it's quick. That's what I'm saying. It's like
you can get a sandwich or a burger.
Quick
to go.
It was not quick in
not in Pennsylvania.
I like there's a Moe's. It's on Celebration. You guys like Moe's?
Moe's is great. I love Moe's.
I love Moe's. I love
the Moe's.
Man, I got one.
Yeah.
The House of Beef.
The House of Beef. We didn't go in there, but
that was scary.
The House of Beef.
The restaurant is called the House of Beef.
Is it really? And you ate there?
No, we didn't. We just saw it, and that was just a running joke. How about we go to the House of Beef?
Yeah, I mean, there's thousands on 192. Every other block, there's something.
Next email's from Evan, who writes, "Hey, awesome show. Does Walt Disney World usually have all the Very Merry Christmas Party stuff out a few days before or around Christmas time? If yes, can you tell me when?"
Yeah, I think we've said this on previous shows that is you right after Christmas, the week between Christmas and New Year, all you get to see all the shows, right? And the parade switch over for Mickey's Very Merry.
Yeah, Mary wearing it mentioned on the show.
Right. Mary's the where I got the tip from. Right.
Next email is from Mike, and guess who this email is for? Anybody?
Mike Newell.
Mike Newell. That's right. That's what we have the show on here.
There you go.
It's a DVC question. What do you guys think about Disney's announced plan to extend the end date for Old Key West 15 more years from 2042 to 2057? Do you think this is a good idea for DVC members to accept?
It's a good idea if you have the money.
It's 50 more years. I mean, you'd be in your
I'll be dead. With my current contract, I'll be dead.
80s. There's some sort of suicide pact with Mary or something going on. Jesus.
That's right. Mike's effigy will be in the
uplifting comment. Oh my God. Well, I'll be dead. Who the hell cares? Great.
Once I'm dead, I don't worry about what happens.
So, Mike, would you say that if you had the money, money wasn't an issue, would you do it?
Personally, I'd rather, to extend my contract would be almost $5,000. I would rather take that $5,000 and buy additional points so I can spend more time now than worry about what I'm going to do when I'm 85.
That's the thing. You're giving up money now for something that
I may never use.
I mean, come on.
Yeah. So I would rather take that money and buy additional points and go more while I was still alive. But that's just a personal preference.
Planning on going when you're dead?
You don't know.
That's
I mean,
true.
What's Orlando going to be like in 2057?
That's a good point too.
Well, I think it'll look.
How much will the Dole Whip cost? $49.95. Have to make an ADR for a Dole Whip.
That's right.
Yeah.
Next email is from Andy Atherton of Norwalk, Connecticut, who writes, "Hey guys, awesome podcast. Now that my iPod's been repaired, I can keep up with the shows again. First off, I'm a huge Disney fan and a fan of theme parks in general, being a member of ACE, American Coaster Enthusiasts. Nice. However, my wife is not. Although she has gone to the world with me twice, the first time in 2001 for our first anniversary, and the second being last May, when we stayed at Costa Towers with our 5-year-old daughter. We were there for 8 days and did 6 days of parks in a row. We spent the first 2 at Universal and Islands of Adventure, and the last 4 in the Disney parks. I tried to keep my wife happy by giving her a spa treatment at the Grand Floridian on the middle of her trip, although it was not until later that when my daughter had a 30-minute screaming fit in Tony's Town Square, which was also the moment when my wife found out that they did not serve alcohol at the Magic Kingdom. It did not get better the last couple of days at the studios, thanks to the shows geared more towards the little ones and Epcot with the Kid Cut fun stops. I learned the hard way that there's quite a difference between vacationing Walt Disney World without kids and then with them, especially when they're very young. So my question is, what would you recommend to us Disney fans who are married to non-Disney fans to keep them happy and allow us to continue down on a somewhat regular basis besides the spa treatment? Been there, done that.
Go alone.
Separate vacations?
Go alone.
You could do shorter trips, and then I would naps are good for everyone, and I think the occasional drink doesn't hurt either.
I like your idea line for the shorter. The occasional drink is good. Yeah, alcohol solves all problems. No, I was gonna say the shorter trip idea is good because it's less intense. You go down there on Thursday and leave on Sunday.
6 straight days of park touring is more than I do, and I'm crazy.
What if you split it up 4 days at a theme park and then 3 days at a beach resort?
Yeah, I mean, I
a lot.
Yeah.
But okay.
Yeah, I mean, Newell, you've done that before. You've gone to Disney for a couple of days, and then you went to Vero Beach.
That's right, and it really breaks it up.
Yeah, so try that. Try shorter trips. Just say, hey, it's not gonna be like last time. We're only gonna be there in the parks for 3 days. I think they can. That might be a good segue, and then you can kind of build it up a little bit and kind of leave them wanting more rather than try to do it all in one trip, which you're not gonna be able to do anyway.
Right.
Next email is from Steve Medina of Miami, Florida, who writes,
"Hey, pasa."
I was just thinking, in the Walt Disney World Today theme song, the lyrics say, "When you are in trouble, you need Walt Disney World Today." What kind of trouble are we talking about? Physical trouble? If we're all getting robbed, do we send up classic hit and Mickey Searchlight a la Batman and Scope comes to the rescue with a Dole in one hand and his walker in the other?
Nice.
Financial trouble? Having trouble with the IRS? We'll just read Van Halen Testa's unofficial guide to stuffing Uncle Sam, cha-ching, and your tax troubles are long gone.
Exactly.
Steve has way too much free time.
It's more spiritual or psychic trouble, Steve.
Next email is from Paul, who writes, I know a number of episodes behind, but Mike Newell mentioned that if anyone took Amtrak to Walt Disney World, to write in and let them know. And Paul from Orange, New Jersey writes, I took a couple of years ago, I took from Newark and could also take it from New York City to Orlando. Many positives and negatives. The cost was just about the same as flying. Well, we waited till very late to book our trips. The airfare went up. And it's a long trip, but a great alternative to flying. It might be a good show idea for you, and I think I'll give you more details if you're more interested in it.
Yeah, the train ride down might be a good show topic.
I would love to try that. I really would. I know it sounds crazy, but I love traveling by train. I would love to try that out.
See, I have no desire whatsoever. After 3 hours, I'd be like, I could have flown there. And then after 6 hours, and I'm only in Washington, I'd be like, I could have flown there and back already.
That's true.
Sometimes, Matt, it's the journey, not the destination.
Ooh.
All right.
Deep.
Dr. Phil, thanks very much.
Exactly.
Next email is from...
He hasn't said anything this entire show.
And he's not he's not replying to my chat either. I'm trying to ask him a question in chat. He's not replying.
Past his bedtime. He's using Geritol Light these days.
Next email is
no
from...
privacy around here. Go ahead.
Gina from Winooski, Vermont writes, thanks for a great podcast. I've been a long-time listener since the beginning. Your show was very helpful in planning our last trip. My last question got answered a little after our trip, but I have some ideas for my next trip to Walt Disney World.
Welcome to the club.
While we were in the world this past trip, we thought it might be fun to go to one of the other Disney parks in the world. We have been to Disneyland, so we're thinking at Paris or Tokyo, and have been having a hard time finding good information. Len, why is there no unofficial guide to these parks? Or is there and I just can't find it? Does anyone have any tips for any guides out there for these parks? Either something that I can find in a bookstore or online?
Man, we had at one time an unofficial guide to Disneyland Paris when it first came out. Unfortunately, the research costs were so much that it was tough to keep updated, and the publisher thought that it wasn't worth working on. So we actually don't have one. Although I know Bob started talking again about doing another version. So I don't know.
I have a great resource online for Disneyland Paris. It's dlrpmagic.com. That's I'll put a link in the show notes. dlrpmagic.com. It's fantastic. I mean, it's visually stunning, and there's a ton of information about Disneyland Paris on here. So definitely want to check that one out. In terms of, go ahead, Len.
In terms of Tokyo, I don't know, but I think Tokyo would probably be more interesting just because of Tokyo Disney Seas and the hotels over there. Those look really nice.
A great site for if you're looking for information on Tokyo Disney is jtscent.com. I'll put a link in the show notes to that one too. It's all about the Tokyo Disney Resort, and lots of information over there also that you could find some really useful information there. So those are two good online places to start. Len, are you familiar with any guides for Disneyland Tokyo?
No, I'm not, but I haven't really looked. I would check Amazon.com for anything.
Great. Next email is from Matt Russell, who writes, hey guys, long-time listener, first-time emailer. Just wondering where you suggest to go to Walt Disney World for a great dining experience, which doesn't suck 2 credits off the dining plan. I know there are great restaurants like Le Cellier. I'm Canadian, so that's a must. But 2 credits and others. But just wondering, what would you guys suggest?
That's 2 credits. Not 2
that
credits.
Isn't 2 credits. Not 2 credits.
Cellier's,
Good.
no.
Le Cellier is 1, right?
It's 1, so that's a good. If you can get in, it's a great option. Mama Melrose, is that what you were going to say?
Yeah.
Although I would rather pay cash for that one, to tell you the truth.
I guess if you're on is Tutu Italia 1 or 2?
1.
Well, for those prices, I think I would.
Oh, Boma. Boma's 1.
Yeah, Boma.
Yeah, Boma's a great one. That's a good one, Len.
Boma's 1. Let me think here. I'm going through the list actually.
Primetime Cafe is 1. That's another good one.
Primetime Cafe is not great.
I like it.
Trails End.
Trails End, you might as well pay for cash. Are you crazy?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. What am I thinking? Craziness.
How about Liberty Tree Tavern?
No, that's terrible. I ate there. Don't even waste your dining credit on there.
Okay.
Okay, how about that? What else is good?
Night Dragons?
Yeah.
You're right.
Trying to think who would be in the
trying to
Magic
think
Kingdom. I
resorts.
can't really think. Pretty much anything in Epcot is one credit.
Yeah, that's the great thing about Morocco. I love going over there and using the dining.
Yeah,
So it allows you to sample a lot of stuff because you're forced to on the dining plan. So I would definitely go for that one. Next email is from Jillian, who writes, "Hey guys, it's always unfortunate to have a traveler in your group who just had surgery. However, at Disney, if you have a member in your party with such a medical problem or who is post-op, ask for room upgrade at check-in. Ask for a room nearer to the resort food court and or bus stop, and they will almost always oblige for you in the name of liability. Once a senior citizen in my group had a knee replacement, and at Caribbean Beach, we were upgraded for free from Farland Trinidad South to Martinique. Can't believe they did that for you, Scopa.
Yep. That was a secret, but now it's out.
Now it's out.
Gonna have to kill her.
Next email is from Rich, who writes, Matt, my wife and I just returned from Walt Disney World, and we had a situation that you might want to share with everyone. I have always been told and checked it out ahead of time that if you have remaining days left on your tickets, you can put the remaining dollar value towards a new purchase, and I've done this in the past without issues. About 2 years ago, we purchased 2 10-day no-expiration park hopper tickets, which have 5 days remaining on them. Before our trip, I called Walt Disney World and asked about purchasing 2 new annual passes and wanted to put the remaining days on our 10-day hopper towards the annual pass prices and was to yes, no problem. When we arrived in Walt Disney World, we went to Magic Kingdom Guest Relations to purchase our annual passes and put the remaining no-expiration park hoppers towards the price. We were told we could not do this. I was speechless, asked why, and the girl said that with parked hopper no-expiration tickets, that you could only upgrade those tickets within the first 14 days.
Yeah.
I told her we were not upgrading them. We wanted to put the dollar value towards the annual pass costs. She said we could not do this. Talk about being shocked. Disney would not let me put a remaining value towards a new pass purchase. So when people ask about trading in days left on tickets towards a new purchase, it's not always a yes.
Yeah, it's amazing, but Amy, from Disney's perspective, they've already got your money.
I'm wondering maybe if the girl didn't know what she was talking about.
Maybe, but I've heard the same thing though, that you've got 14 days to do the upgrade. Then after that, it's.
I would at that point I would have asked for a manager or someone because I don't know. I want to say you can do that. Scope, have you heard something differently? Is that what you've been hearing lately?
I mean, that's the policy. 14 days.
Okay, so I can't use my passes from 1992. And
no, you can. You just can't.
use it.
Use a Magic Your Way. You can't use a Magic Your Way pass once that 14-day window is passed.
And you won't be able to use them at the Animal
specific
Kingdom.
on that.
Okay.
You won't be able to
I don't
use
think
them.
a manager's going to say, a manager worth his salt or her salt is going to say, they have to go with the party line and say, gee, as much as I would like to bend the rules, if I bend the rules for you, Mr. Hotchberg, I'd have to bend the rules for Mr. Newell as well.
And if,
say, okie dokie.
and if you want to use them at the Animal Kingdom, you're out of luck.
Right. Yeah, because it wasn't park wasn't created then.
Right.
Next email is from Becca from New York. Writes, I love listening to your show. Hope you can answer my question. We're staying at Port Orleans Riverside. My parents are DVC members, and we usually stay at these resorts, but thought we'd try a moderate resort for our own vacation during the Food and Wine Festival. We understand that using the buses can add a lot of time to your trips back and forth to the parks. We're basically going to spend our time at Epcot and are trying to determine the best or fastest way to get there for opening at 9 a.m. Port Orleans is a ferry that goes to downtown Disney, but we don't know how early in the morning transportation starts to and from downtown Disney to know that if it's a good alternative. Also, we don't remember if the buses only go to resorts only and not to the parks from downtown. To get from...
Okay, good.
So I think there's 2 questions here. First question is from best way from Riverside to the parks. It's got to be just give yourself plenty of time for the buses, right?
I mean, you could always bus to I would always take the bus to the Magic Kingdom, but for the other parks, I think it's always faster to drive.
Right, but if they are taking the buses though, you just give yourself plenty of time. I mean, I would say leave Riverside at 8. Get on a bus at 8, and you'll get to the park probably around 8:30ish, depending on, how things go and everything. And then you get off the bus, you get in a good spot in line, and you'll be ready to go.
Just 8 o'clock. Yeah, an hour ahead of time. That's fine. Yeah, I think that'll be okay.
Now, I wouldn't say a half an hour. I'd say an hour. I mean, that's if the bus comes at 8 o'clock. But get Give yourself at least an hour.
Great. Last email of the day is going to be coming from Paul Appel of Clinton Township, Michigan, who writes, Hi guys, love the show. Thanks for talking up the Walt Disney World Marathon. Because of you guys and some other podcasts, I've decided that I would give it a try. I was excited to find out that this is the 15th year, and those that never run get a special 15th anniversary medal. Well, even though I have never run in any race before, I signed up for the full. I've been running almost every day since I signed up back in March. Anyhow, on to my question. We arrive at Walt Disney World on January 8th, and the Osborne lights are scheduled to end on the 6th. Any chance that they might leave the lights on for a few extra days so us marathoners can check them out?
No.
They're pretty solid with that. I remember last year they were pretty solid with it.
Yeah. No, I mean they're not going to be on past that.
That's a basic date every year. It's like the last Thursday or Friday or the first weekend, and that's it. Yeah.
Paul also wants to know, and what about the other holiday decorations? Did they all just magically come down the night of the 6th, or will we get a chance to check out the Magic Kingdom Christmas tree or the gingerbread houses displays at the resorts?
That's a good question, because I don't know if you guys noticed, but I noticed that the decorations this year were at best poor. It seemed like they did not go all out, that they weren't as lush as they have been in the past, and it almost looked as if they put just enough up so that they could take them down in a matter of 8 to 10 hours. So possibly, they have put the decorations up this year such that they can come down rather quickly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. I'm trying to think of the decorations of the resort. I know I was at Saratoga Springs and the Polynesian for Mouse Fest, and nothing like really stuck out of my mind in terms of the decorations. I mean, you had the tree somewhere in the lobby, and that was nice, whatever. But
the trees may be up, but I mean, all the rest of the stuff. I mean, the trees may be the last thing to come down.
Mr. Newell, do you have time for one last question, even though I already said the last one?
Yeah, one or two if you want.
All right, let's go for this last one here. It's guess who the question's for?
That's it for us today. If you want to,
UBC baby.
No, actually, it's from Christina from Newport, Maine. It's a camera question, Mr. Newell.
We love Christina.
Who writes, Hello, my name is Christina. I'm from Newport, Maine. My husband and I are taking a Disney trip in April 2008. I am quite a digital camera buff and love to take pictures of just about everything. My camera is not exactly huge, yet not one of those little pocket-sized ones either. My question is, I'm wondering how easy is it to go on a ride such as Coasters in Mission Space with carrying mid to larger size cameras? Are there compartments to safely store your camera? Any advice on this would be greatly appreciated. I love picture taking, but I don't want to avoid certain rides because of my camera.
Well, the important thing is to bring a camera case that is well padded. And if you bring something that's well padded, then it shouldn't have any problems. I mean, I have taken my camera on, you name it, Rock and Roller Coaster, a Dinosaur, Everest, no problems, as long as you get a very good, spend some money and get a well padded camera bag, and you shouldn't have any problems.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, you'll be fine.
Great. Okay. Well, that's it for us today. If you want to find our older episodes, read our show notes, or send us your comments, visit the Walt Disney World Today website at www.wdwtoday.com. For Len Testa, Mike Scopa, and Mike Newell, I'm Matt Hochberg. We'll see you on the next show.
This has been a production of Mouse World Radio. This episode of Walt Disney World Today is sponsored by MEI and MouseFan Travel, who specialize in cruises and vacation packages to Disney and other destinations around the world. MEI and MouseFan Travel is an authorized Disney vacation planner and the recommended vacation planner for allears.net. They provide their signature services with no additional agency fees. To get your free no-obligation quote, visit www.mousefantravel.com.